Long before cities, before fire, before the first tools, our ancestors lived in a world ruled by predators. A world where every single day was a battle for survival. Lions, snakes, hyenas, crocodiles. They dominated the land, while small bands of early humans struggled simply to endure. In this story, we step back 5 million years into the dawn of humanity to witness how our ancestors learned to survive, how they learned to fight back, and how they slowly rose from prey to hunter. 5 million years ago, the earth was both dangerous and beautiful. Forests were shrinking, grasslands stretched endlessly across Africa, and hidden in those vast landscapes were predators. Among the shadows of lions, hyenas, crocodiles, and giant snakes lived our ancestors. They were not yet the humans we are today, but they were learning, watching, surviving. These early people had no fire, no stone weapons, but they had something no other creature used in the same way: cooperation. They lived in small bands, maybe 20 or 30 individuals moving together. At night, they climbed into trees for safety, huddling close, protecting one another from the predators that prowled below. By day, they foraged for fruits, roots, and nuts. And sometimes, if fortune smiled, they scavenged meat left behind by larger hunters. Every sunrise brought the same truth: survive or perish. The lion was among their greatest dangers. But these weren't the lions we know today. They were larger, stronger, their teeth sharper, more terrifying. Crossing the open grasslands meant risking death. And yet, our ancestors were clever. They learned that no single human could stand against a lion, but together, they could. The first encounters weren't hunts. They were acts of courage. A group would gather, shouting, waving branches, throwing rocks, and slowly, the lions began to retreat. They were not yet hunters. They were scavengers. But within those moments of bravery, to lay the seed of something far greater. Snakes haunted their world too. Silent, patient, hidden in the tall grass or coiled in trees. One bite meant certain death. Children learned early: listen for the hiss. Notice the sudden stillness of birds. Watch carefully where the shadows twist. But humans adapted. A long stick became a weapon. One sharp strike to pin the head, another to crush it. The meat and skin were precious. Hunting snakes was more than survival. It was a lesson in danger and a lesson in skill. Generations passed. Brains grew larger. Hands grew more skilled. And then, one day, something changed forever. Our ancestors did not just chase a lion from its kill. They set a trap. They moved with purpose. They surrounded a smaller predator with sharpened sticks, with stones in hand, and courage in their hearts. They struck. The battle was brutal, dangerous. But when the lion finally fell, something shifted forever. That day, the hunted became the hunters, not of beasts alone, but of fear itself. They didn't hunt lions, often the risk was too great. But the memory of that victory lived on, passed down in stories, told again and again around every fire. And little by little, people learned fire itself. With fire came safety. With fire came warmth. With fire came courage. Predators that once ruled the night now kept their distance. Meat that was once raw could now be cooked. And darkness that had belonged only to beasts now belonged to humans as well. With fire came courage. With tools came power. And with stories came memory. Stories of survival, of bravery, of the first hunts, carried from one generation to the next. 5 million years ago, survival was not easy. It was a daily battle against predators, hunger, and an unforgiving land. But our ancestors endured. They learned to drive away lions. They learned to strike down snakes. They learned to turn fear into strength. And from those struggles came the long journey that would shape us. Humans, the storytellers, the fire keepers, the hunters who would one day become the masters of the earth. If you enjoyed this journey into the deep past, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that bring history to life. Until next.